This is it. This is the project. New stair treads. We gotta patch these guys. Pretty much anything that's got holes like that right there, they want patched up. Actually, I need to reevaluate. I'm gonna go through here and kind of analyze what all needs done, kind of like picking the worst ones and making sure I stay focused and don't get sidetracked by fixing something that doesn't need to be fixed, because apparently they're going to be replacing these stairs next summer. So let's get started. Alright, so I had this drop piece of plate on the back of my truck for situations just like this. I'm fixing to cut this in two, and I'm going to cut little bitty strips because I need little strips to help my patch job over here. So the game plan is to fix something like that. What I did was I just put this pre-made piece that they've already got. They've got a bunch of these treads and a bunch of these back treads, and so I'm just going to put that up here, tack it on top. In fact, I'll show you with 60-10. Tack it over there, and try to get some tacks down here, at least 3 of them. But then I got this gap back here, so I'm gonna, the little strips I'm cutting, I'm gonna put right here. Put a tack there and a tack there, and then these things ought to be good. I may or may not end up putting a tab down here, depending on how wore out this tread is that I'm tacking to, because whenever you're trying to weld to this rust, sometimes it doesn't, you're not hardly welding anything, and it's not a quality weld. So if you can get out here, you know, away from the rusted stuff into some better material, you know, it helps you be better quality. If I could get away from if it's too rusted here in the corner, I put a tab on here. I can put a tack out here but still tack against this. That way everything stays in place, because the objective is just to make these stairs more safe. And so by cleaning it up like this, the idea is to eliminate some of those issues. So anyway, coming right along. Bing, bada boom. Alright, so here's kind of the game plan. I'm gonna cut them bolt heads off, lift this up, put my tread in, or put my back tread in, and then put that back down over it and do the same thing here. But the only thing I'm gonna do different is I'm gonna trim these tabs in half, because it doesn't need that much weld, and that way my metal can go further. And I was just informed that I can cut material out of these treads. In fact, that's what this is. This is just a piece ripped off of one of these. So I didn't know that. I thought these came. Anyway, so I've got some more prepping to do of material, and then I'll be able to hopefully make quick work of these. This one tread took me, I want to say like no more than 30 minutes, and it ought to go real quick once I have all my stuff cut. I think I figured about an hour per step whenever I was figuring this job. I just essentially quoted this by the hour, but I always like to keep track of time. That way if I come across a job in the future and they want a quote, I can get a better idea of, for one, what to do in a situation like this, but for two, how much to charge for it, you know what I mean? So, and how efficient I can be to hopefully make more money, you know what I mean? So that went pretty good. I liked it. And back here, I don't think I said this, but check this out. So I talked about putting a piece up here like this, like standing up like this back here, but I ended up putting it underneath and welding. They got pre-drilled holes here, and so I ended up putting it underneath, plug welding that, and just welding it here. That way it makes it cleaner for this next one to come. Set it right here. And there was already a gap. There's a gap between this and this original step below because of this right here. All the rusting and swelling from the salt, that's raised up right here. So it just kind of worked out to put a spacer in the middle on this one. And yeah, so we just kind of make our situation work with what we got type thing. Cool, man. Tread number 2. See, that 1.5 inches is more than enough. It feels good, the way that it should. All right, this flight of stairs is good to go. This is what it looked like before, And this is what it looks like after. Now we're on to the next flight of stairs here. I just now laid that tread in there because I'm going to tack it in first. Well, I'm going to set it in there. I'm fixing to get me a measurement for the backing piece, and then I'll just continue to go right on up. Got quite a few to do on this one. I made little X's on the ones that need replaced. Pretty much from there up, essentially, the way I'm doing it. We're starting to make quick work out of it. If I had a helper here, I would have them continue to cut pieces, you know, like the pieces we're using to tack in the sides, you know, to have some meat to weld to. I'd have somebody cutting those. Because like right now, I've got all these, so I can easily count up how many pieces I need. Reminds me of working on drilling rigs, climbing stairs and dragging leads and all kinds of good mobile welding work. Alright, so these have been replaced before, these treads. These are fairly new, but since I'm trying to patch these, I'm cutting a piece for here, setting it in here, tacking it, and then the way they mounted these was they plug welded them. So I'm sanding that plug weld down. That way this next tread can lay flush as possible. And then I put that piece underneath right here, plug welded in the back. And then I put a piece of angle over here that I cut out of a leftover strip of one of these treads. And then I tack it right here. That way everything's sturdy. So that's kind of the quick and easy way that I've figured out, or that I'm doing this. I'm essentially just covering up all the old stuff. Done for the day. The last thing I'm gonna do after I get this truck rolled up is I'm gonna go evaluate what all I got done in a day's time. From my years of experience, in the morning on a new project, you get less done than you do in the afternoon. So, or I should say, but I want to know the the average of how long it took me to do one tread or one stair. So when I get rolled up, I'm gonna go over there, I'm gonna count how many treads I've done, and I'm gonna divide that by the actual time I was here working, you know, not counting lunch, not counting drive time. I still wanna include drive time and whatnot, you know, if I go to quote something, but just so I have an idea of on project time, this is a good way to evaluate it. And I'll even reevaluate once I get the other set of stairs. There's a whole nother set just like this. 2 or 3 bad ones over there on the west side of this building. And once I finish them, I'll reevaluate all of it and see if my average goes down. In theory, it should, because we find rhythms. Anytime I come to my truck, I cut multiple things that I need. I cut 2 steps or 2 risers out of a tread when I'm down here. If I need one riser and I know I'm going to need another one, I go ahead and cut another one out of the same tread, because you can get 2 usually out of one tread there. And so just being more efficient, the more and more that I do is the goal. And so the idea is to find a rhythm whenever you're doing stuff, and then you can just evaluate how long stuff takes you this way. So here in a minute, like I said, we will count how many treads we got done today. I'm on the verge of being too hot. I drank like 6 bottles of water, but need another one, I reckon. Let's get these counted. 1, 2, 3. Put this little piece in. It's like a half step, but we'll just do the holes for a minute. 3. Well, just make that 4, since that's half one too. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 treads. I got here at 9 o'clock this morning, and I worked till almost 1. So just call it 1, 10, 11, 12, 1. And then from 2 to 5, another 3 hours, so 7 hours. So 7 hours divided by 9 treads. Had to get to my calculator. It's roughly 45 minutes per tread. So on average, 45 minutes. I bet I will average, well, it'll probably stay close to that just based off my experience here, because I'm going higher, so it's gonna take a little bit longer every time you go higher. But I don't have, the 2 worst ones were on the bottom here. I don't have as many up top, but because I was fixing to say you could get that average down to 30 minutes, which you probably could if you had like another person here and whatnot. But these are all things to consider when quoting jobs and whatnot. But obviously, like I said, you want to include your drive time and prep time and evaluate time, because I got here at 9, but for the first 30-45 minutes I was evaluating and finding the treads, you know, getting with the guy. So you know what I mean, like the first 45 minutes was, you know, not even actually welding or nothing, but you gotta account for it all. So anyway, I hope that was a little bit helpful. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for coming along with me today. Hope you have an awesome weekend. Don't forget to check out our online trade school, arosswelding.school, and our main website, arosswelding.com, for more helpful resources. And we've got a few welding tools over there, also digital prints, several things over there on our the arosswelding.com website. So go check it out if you're interested, and have an awesome day. And remember, learn something every day.